Petra, you're back at Mom and Dad's house again? Next week I'm planning on having Pat come over so that I can introduce him to everyone there. So, Petra, you are really getting in my way by being at their house right now. Hurry up and get out of that house for good. And I am trying. I would really like to be out of this house as soon as possible right now, and I'm planning on being gone soon. But of course, there are still some things I'm not quite over just yet. Not over what? This isn't just about the fact that you went and stole my fiancé from me like that, but the fact that you went and made it sound like I was the one trying to steal him from you all this time. Now I am totally pissed off about that and can't just let things go anymore. Well, listen here, Petra. I have every right to blame the person in the wrong for doing something wrong, right? You tried to steal Pat from me, you freak! Lacey, your English is getting worse day by day. And your head is getting worse day by day, you idiot! You really do have to get over all this. It was Pat that started to like me more than you, so there's nothing you can do to fight that, okay? Also, Pat's already told me he's never going to marry you now since you tried to steal him away from my arms. So this isn't all just you saying that I'm the one who was trying to steal Pat from you? He himself is lying about what happened to paint me is the problem. This is just like that time you threw yourself down the stairs and then started blaming me for pushing you, even though I was in the kitchen on the first floor of our house. But you did push me, and I'll have you know that I sprained my ankle really badly because of that. And that's on you for being a complete imbecile and falling down the stairs. You were just lucky that Mom and Dad weren't home to see it, making them believe you when you showed them the sprain and blamed me. There were already some red flags being raised after both Mom and Dad believed what you were saying over me when you had no evidence. But are you kidding me? Now you've gotten Pat playing along with your lies and are blaming me once again for something I have never done? Well, I also told him about what you did to me then as well, and he told me he never thought of you as such a bully, and that's why he ended up falling in love with me. And now that he loves me so much that he wants to marry me, he's never going to doubt that moment again, and will always play along with my lies. See, now that you've even heard it from me, you get it, right? You don't have any friends in this family anymore, so hurry up and get out of Mom and Dad's house for me. Make sure to never come back around us again. All right then, I guess this is it for me then. I'm changing my plans. I'm going to leave this house today. Thank God. After seeing how you've acted, even now while we've texted, I finally understand it all. Everyone in this house will only believe what you tell them, no matter how frickin' insane and baseless it is. Which must mean that both Mom and Dad are completely nuts. Huh? What the heck did you just say? Are you stupid? I don't really care anymore about what I say. I'm already on my way out of this house now, so I feel that I can say whatever I want about you guys because I'll never see any one of you again, right? I'm going to start packing all my things up now, so leave me alone. Hey, you still aren't out of the house yet? I've just finished up talking with a realtor about signing a lease for an apartment and planning out how I'm going to move all my things there. Well, who cares about that? All of the things you have are worthless to the rest of us, so they can just all go in the trash. Just throw it all in the back of your car or something and get lost. Anything you can't fit, we'll gladly throw away for you. You're right, actually. I'm only gathering the most valuable things to me, and the rest I'll be getting rid of. But it's not like I have much left anyway, because there was always someone going into my room and always stealing my things from me without ever asking. Huh? I never stole any of those things, though. I was just taking them from you. It's your fault for always buying such nice clothing and bags and jewelry that would look way better on a beauty like me. I only said someone was stealing all of my things, Lacey. I never said that it was you that was doing all of it. What? I see. So you really have been the one stealing all my things then. What the hell? You're being a total witch. Just get out of this house already. And I'm on my way out of here right now. Is that right? Well, thank frickin' God for that. Now the final piece of annoying garbage is out of my sight. That's right. I've been blocked by Pat already, so I have something I'd like for you to relay to him. What is it? Tell him that if I don't get my $3,000 back from him that I lent him by the middle of this month, I'm going to have a problem. Huh? $3,000? He already knows where to send the money to, so all you have to do is tell him that and he'll be able to handle the rest. If he doesn't know what to do, then tell him to unblock me so that he and I can talk about this like adults, and I can explain to him again what needs to happen. What are you going on about? You're telling me that the Pat I'm engaged to, the one who happens to work for a very large company and makes lots of money there, had to borrow money from some loser like you? No freaking way that's a thing. There happens to be an IOU that we both signed proving this is true, though. No way, no way, no way. If you don't want to believe me, then that's totally fine. I just want you to go ahead and tell him all of this for me. If you'd like to hear the reason for why he had to borrow money from me in the first place, then go and ask him about it. There is just no way any of that is true. Can you please quit trying to make me laugh at this stupid joke of yours? I'm not going back to that house anymore, just so you know. So this is goodbye forever then. Petra, I have some super happy news for you. I was just proposed to by Pat. And of course, we all know what my answer was, right? It was a yes. We were on an evening walk out at the city center park, and there he got down on one knee, whipped out a beautiful ring, and asked for me to be his wife. It was the most romantic setting for me, and I just couldn't help but come to you with this amazing news. Is that so? Congratulations. And when it comes to our wedding, Pat has told me that at the very least, it's going to cost $50,000. Really? I never expected that you both would be putting $50,000 toward a wedding. I'm sure you are oh so jealous of me right now. I'm wondering how you're going to come across that kind of money. Huh? Listen here, miss. Just because someone like Pat had to borrow a measly $3,000 from you before doesn't mean you get to start acting like he doesn't have the money for this wedding. Would you please stop it with that now? After I went to him about all that, he said he paid you right back in 2 days. Ah, you're talking about that. I'm very thankful that you were able to go to him and relay what I wanted you to say without screwing it all up or forgetting about it. Thank you. He told me that during that phase, he was just asking you for a little money to help him cover some simple costs. And that's the only reason he asked for that small amount from you. So don't get such a big head over that instance. That's not what I was planning for you to think when I thought about your guys' financial situation. So, was the only reason for you coming back to me after months of no communication whatsoever just for you to brag to me about how you were able to say yes to his proposal? Huh? I'm just thinking that none of this has to do with you wanting to invite me to that wedding or anything you just spoke of. Of course I'm going to invite you to it. I wasn't just going to start the conversation with me telling you the date and location of the wedding. I had to lead into that by telling you what good news I had and about how the wedding will be. You don't have to tell me about all of that stuff, all right? I don't plan on coming anyway. We'll see about that. So is that all you wanted from me then? Huh? I really want to get back to work now. Wait, today is a holiday, you idiot. You think I'm going to believe that you still have to work? You must really be in need of money right now if you're having to work during a holiday. I happened to change my career, and that ended up with me having to change my schedule around, where I only have to work on the weekends and sometimes on holidays and during the week. What? You changed your job? And because of me changing my career and job, I am now making a whole lot more money than I was before. What? Really? So? Huh? I don't think you have anything else to say to me then, so I'll be getting back to work now. Petra? Petra, please! What the heck do you want from me? I'm in the middle of some very important work, okay? I need some money from you as a celebration for my wedding. Huh? Is your wedding coming up really soon then? It'll be next week on Sunday, so please give me some money to celebrate my marriage. I'm sure you can give me $50,000, right? Excuse me? Are you being serious right now? You want me to give you $50,000 as a present? You're my older sister, right? I think with you as my older sister, you should be more than happy to fork that kind of money over to me as a present for my special day. Come on now, Lacey. Just tell me what's really going on with you now. I know that you can't pay for your wedding now, and you want my money to pay for it. You guys don't have any money, right? You've only ever worked as a part-timer for a couple of stores and only ever brought in a couple $100s per month, right? So there was never enough income for you to save any of it. That's why, for a little while, you've had mom and dad giving you an allowance in order to have a little bit more money, right? And since you got those two to jump on your bandwagon and hand you money like that all the time, they now don't have any money for themselves to support them as they both try and retire happily. When it comes to Pat, he's working for a very large company, but only as a temporary employee, right? You knew about that? Well, you have to understand that I was really planning to marry that man at one point. And now the reason for why you are freaking out so much right now is because you happened to find out that the man you want to marry is making less than a full-time employee there, and that's really shocked you to your core. Do you know why I had to lend him $3,000 before? That's because while in between jobs, he didn't have the money to pay rent and for food, so I said he could borrow from me as long as he paid me back. And when he paid all that back to me in one payment, he must have borrowed money from somewhere else to make that work, right? He may have said something about that before to me. So when it comes to you having to pay for that wedding, you must have thought he was going to be the one paying for all of it, right? And as for Pat, he thought that since you were always getting money from mom and dad, that it would be the same case here and that they'd pay for your wedding. Am I right about all this? But I had thought that Pat was full-time, long-term employee for that company, so I assumed he could afford everything. And by the way, why the hell do you know about all of this, Petra? I never knew a thing about any of this before, yet you knew all along? He and I have talked about all of this before when we were dating, and we both have friends that I'm able to hear things from. Also, when it came to him proposing to me and the two of us becoming engaged, he promised to me that he would get a full-time, long-term job by the time we got married. But that was all before you came in and stole him from me. If you knew about all of this, then why didn't you tell me? I only stole him from you because I thought he'd be making all this money and I'd never have to work a day in my life again. This is a scam. You scammed me. He's not at all what you advertised to me. He's not even rich enough to pay for a simple wedding to celebrate our marriage. You thought I had any reason to tell you any of that? Huh? The fact that you both didn't talk about all of this before talking about marriage is on you two. Had you actually sat down with him and talked finances and work, he might have told you more about who he really is and what state his bank accounts are in. Also, you were the one that chose to steal him from me, so I just assumed you knew about the kind of trash he is. So why tell you something when you should have already known? But... Also, just after that, you started to blame me for being the one to try and steal him from you before you ran out of the house to him. So I had no way to tell you who he was even. But listen! And just know that I am not going to give you $50,000 as a present, all right? What? I'm sorry, but I'm not that rich where I could just whip that kind of money out and give it to someone who isn't deserving of it. Well, I'm asking you to please do something. This has already caused a lot of problems, and so the wedding is being canceled. But the wedding planner has told me I have between now and next weekend to pay them back the cancellation fee, and I don't have the money to do that. Please just give me whatever money you have right now, Petra. Your cute little sister is in a really tough place right now. You're my older sister. After that, Lacey, Pat, and both of my parents started to call my phone over and over and over. And not just calls, but a bunch of text messages and things like that as well started to come. Lacey would tell me every time that she had no money and then would say horrible things to me. Pat would tell me that he has no money and then ask for the both of us to get back together again. Both my parents would tell me they have no money and that they wanted me to come back home to live with them. I get that I was able to find a better paying job and all, but I do not make the kind of money where I can pay for all these freaks. Anyway, all those calls and texts from me was driving me up the wall. So I went and changed my phone number. When talking to a person I know who lives in the house next to them, they told me that the whole story about how Lacey had really stolen Pat from me slipped out. And then all of their friends and family began to stop talking to them. And I guess that meant I was the only person left for them to rely on. When it came to that wedding's cancellation fee, it turns out that they were able to settle it by paying it off in half-year increments. But even with that, my parents had to end up selling their house. And then they all moved out of their house to a smaller apartment where they would fight one another all the time and cause all kinds of noise complaints. It'll only be a matter of time before they get kicked out of the apartment and are forced to live on the street.
Shayna, long time no see. Last time I think we both talked to one another was maybe a year ago at our last high school class reunion, remember? Lizzie, why are you talking to me right now? Why are you being so rude to me with that type of response? Well, from what I remember last time, you and I really aren't on the best of terms, are we? What are you talking about? So you have no clue what I'm talking about then? And that's why I'm asking, what are you talking about? I'm talking about what happened at last year's class reunion. About how at that reunion last year, you started talking to Markmore, who was from a different class, mind you, than us, and had just gotten married, and then started a relationship with him, leading to him divorcing his new wife. Oh, you know about that? Well, yeah, of course I do, because this all happened during the class reunion. Also, there is only one high school in this small town that we've all gone to, and since everyone around here is our age, it wasn't hard to find out all the information about what happened. Oh, I see. So that would mean I'm pretty popular, right? But what I'm trying to get at is that you are a total jerk for doing something like that, and I don't want to be part of your life or your inner circle, okay? Well, what happened is all in the past. You can't change that. And Mark and I have been apart for some time now, so that whole story is over with. At this point in time, I'm on to someone else entirely that I really want to start a relationship with. Oh, is that right? So why do you have to come to tell me about your newfound adventures? We barely even talked at the last class reunion, so I don't understand why you're talking to me now like the two of us are BFFs or something. Oh, that's right. So right now I'm living over in Rochester, right? In Rochester? And it turns out that the customer I'm working with at my job just happens to be your husband, Kevin. Oh, is that so? We happened to talk for just a little bit, but then he told me that he's been over here in Rochester for business, and he had to live over here for half a year now, right? That's true. Something about that. He said that the CEO of his company is really happy with all of the work he's been doing for the company, and that the CEO would like him to stay working over in Rochester for just a little while longer. Is that also true? I think so. Why didn't your husband end up taking you with him over to Rochester if he's going to be working there for longer than half a year now? I mean, you both haven't had any children yet either, right? Well, I guess we haven't had kids yet, but why does that even matter to you? What are you trying to get at with all of this? Also, the reason I haven't gone with him is because I'm a full-time employee myself, and my work is here. Well, why don't you just quit your job and stay with your husband in Rochester? Because it isn't easy as you think it is to do something like that. Recently, I've just joined a new project that is set to really help with this company's future, and if I was to just up and leave right now, that doesn't sit right with me and my character. Uh-huh. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if you come to live here or not with him. Look, I can't entertain you anymore. I've got some customers coming soon, so I think our conversation is done, okay? Oh, is it now? Well, okay then. Bye-bye. Shanna, it's been a while. What do you want? Really? Ugh, you're still going to give me the cold shoulder like before? I have no reason to be friendly with some girl that I was never friends with in high school and who has a bad reputation of stealing other people's men. Bad reputation? Stealing men? What do you want, Lizzie? I've had enough of this. You've hurt me one too many times now, so I'm going to make a scene. What are you talking about? Right now, I'm living with your husband in his apartment in Rochester together. My husband? That's right. I'm living with Kevin right now under one roof. Right? I'm sure you're so surprised by some kind of news like this. I'm sure you never expected an old classmate of yours to steal your husband while he was away from home for work. But it's your fault, after all, for not coming along with him and moving all the way out to Rochester to be with him. I happen to understand the loneliness that he's been feeling all this time. I had to go through the same thing, leaving the hometown I love to come all the way out to a different town, a different world, and work with no friends around. The fact that we both have experienced the same loneliness now made it all the more easier for us to grow close to one another. I'm not here to listen to you gush on and on about your supposed new love feelings. Just tell me what it is you want. If not, I'm gonna hang up. What? Oh, just let me make this story a bit more dramatic, all right? I'm getting really fed up with you wasting my time over something I don't care about. That's why I want you to just get to the point. All right. So impatient. In other words, since you never went along to accompany your husband on his trip away from home for work, I'm able to take him in as my own and show him my love, which means that I've won. And that's all I've been wanting to say. I see. So, in other words, you're back to stealing other people's husbands. Okay. No, it's your fault for not coming along with him to help keep him from feeling lonely. So with all of that being said, I'm going to be taking Kevin away from you now. I'm so sorry for stealing him from you. Okay, now can you listen to me for 1 second? Kevin and I have been divorced for a little while now. What? Him and I got divorced over half a year ago. Huh? Back then, you had stated messaging me again about Kevin and all of that, crap you were asking me about, remember? Well, 2 weeks after you and I talked for a little bit, he and I got a divorce and then stopped talking to one another. So, you both aren't married anymore? Yep, we are divorced. Ex-husband, ex-wife, that's where we are now. And now, I just want to ask you something. When did you and Kevin start having this loving relationship with one another? About 4 months ago to this day. And since when have the two of you started to live together? I think around 2 months ago or so. And you never heard about any of this from Kevin? Not that I'm aware of. Hold on a second. There are times he'll get calls from someone that sounds like his wife, and he'll even get these large text messages from her. And just recently he told me that his wife would be coming over and asked me to stay out of the house for the evening. Actually, that's happened quite a few times now. That's him talking about you been coming out to see him here in Rochester, right? No, that's not me he's talking to, Lizzie. Then him saying his wife is coming over... Who the heck is he talking about then? That's his wife. Perhaps he got married to another woman since him and I got the divorce? Who could have gotten married to him now? Well, it might be with the woman he was cheating on me back when we were together.
What?
And now that we're talking about it, to think that after getting divorced by me for cheating, he'd marry that woman and then start cheating on her. He is a complete idiot.
Hold on a sec. Do you have any idea who that woman is that he was cheating on you with before?
Oh, yeah, of course, I know her. It would have been very difficult for me to get any money in the divorce through a settlement if I had no idea who she was, so I made sure to look her up.
Tell me who she is.
I think she might be the daughter of someone you already know.
Who is it?
She happens to be the daughter of the CEO that is currently running the company you're working for. In other words, Kevin is married to the daughter of the CEO of his customer's company.
No. Wait. He cheated on you with the daughter of my current CEO?
Yep. She happened to be 18 years old now and doesn't really work any, nor does she seem to be going to school.
18 years old?
Well, it's been a while since then, so yeah, she's like 19 years old now.
How the heck did he even have time to meet her? Did he stalk her at high school or something?
I think it was in her last year of high school. She ended up working at the company that Kevin works for, and I guess while she was there, she ran into him. Things just started to go wild from then on out. And well, since the two of them were never getting any work done in the office building, if you know what I mean, Kevin's higher-ups chose to have him move to that office over in Rochester so that he wouldn't be distracting the co-op from doing her job. But even though he moved out to Rochester, Kevin and that other woman still found a way to make it work.
What the heck?
And since she happens to be the daughter of a CEO, when I divorced Kevin, she was able to pay off all of the adultery charges. There was no problem. And I think she even helped Kevin pay me as well.
This is all way too messed up. What the freaking heck? How is he married to a 19-year-old?
I'm in the same boat as you. What Kevin's been up to is completely messed up. Also, I believe that the reason those two aren't living together yet is because they still don't have a place to move into together. They're probably having it built right now using her parents' money or something. And the only reason she'd be his wife already is because she got pregnant, and so they went to the courthouse and handed in their marriage papers.
You think she's pregnant?
That's what I'm thinking when you connect all the dots together. And by this point, she'll probably be having his baby next month or the month after that. I don't even know how many weeks she is.
No, wait. Hold on a second. This is all... I was just doing all this with the plan of stealing your husband from you. But now you're telling me that I'm stealing him from the daughter of my CEO?
Why the hell were you trying to steal Kevin from me in the first place, Lizzie?
That's because I really hate you, Shayna.
Oh, really?
You always had the best scores in high school, and you were loved by all the teachers and all the other boys. You always acted like you were on cloud 9 the whole time we were in high school. I was so totally pissed off at you, and I wanted everything that you had. And it made me start to really hate you, and I have not been able to get you off of my mind since.
Wow, I was wondering if there was something you held against me, and that is it, huh?
To me, all of that has really stuck with me and made me want to see you suffer.
Is that right?
Also, when Kevin moved to Rochester to start working at the office, I ran into him, and I really started to fall for him. I thought this was finally my chance, and that I'd be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'd be able to get the man of my dreams and become really happy, as well as get my revenge on you for being such an awful girl back in high school.
Well, that man of your dreams was the man I threw away for having an affair with the daughter of your CEO behind my back. And it seems that you've started sleeping with her husband now.
What am I going to do? To think that Kevin is really married to the daughter of my CEO right now? If my company was to learn about something like that, I'd be... Hey, what should I do about this?
You really fixing your mouth to ask me something like that? You got yourself into this mess, and I don't want any part of it.
What?
You and Kevin starting that relationship only happened after he and I divorced, so there's no reason for me to have to come and help you out, okay? That would be pretty stupid of me if I was to help you right now.
But you're his ex-wife!
So what? If I, his ex-wife of all people, were to start sticking my nose into his business like that, then I'd look like a loser in all of this, which I'm most definitely not.
But you're also my friend.
You still think I've been your friend this whole time? Even if I did want to help out here, there's nothing I can do to fix things for you. Especially since you just told me that you hate me.
No way!
I think we are done here, so I have a date with my boyfriend tonight, and I'd really like to start getting ready for him.
You already have another boyfriend already?
Well, I got divorced half a year ago, so it's not strange for me to have a boyfriend already, is it? Bye-bye.
Shayna, what am I supposed to do now? I'm pregnant with Kevin's child. Also, it looks like the daughter of my CEO has figured out that I've been sleeping with her husband now. What should I do? Yesterday, someone heard about how the CEO's daughter has gotten married to one of our customers and also started to talk about Kevin. I think the company I'm in and his company are going to stop doing businesses together now. And since they found out that I've been sleeping with him now, they are planning on firing me. As for the baby I'm carrying now, what am I seriously going to do about it? I want to be open about something with you, Shayna. Back when everyone found out that I was the one who stole Mark away from his new wife, my family and most of my friends cut ties with me, and I've been on my own ever since. And that's the whole reason I moved out here to Rochester. And then when I met with Kevin, I thought that him and I could have a cute baby together and start a new family out of this town. But now that I've heard from you that he already has another wife, my dreams are all ruined. He's even told me himself that he's already married, which means him and I can't get married. If I can't be with him, then that means I'll have to raise this baby all on my own. Hey, what should I be doing right now to fix this? Shayna, you're reading all of this right now, right? I know that you're a very smart person, Shayna, and that's why I'm messaging you right now, looking for advice. You would never dump me and leave me to deal with all of this all by myself, right? That's not the kind of person you are, right? Right? Shayna! Please say something to me! Your friend is in trouble right now, yet you're not going to help or talk to me at all? What the heck is wrong with you? Shayna!
I was expecting to learn sometime later that Kevin would be willing to pay child support for Lizzie in order to get her to shut up and leave him and his wife alone. But after the DNA test was taken of the baby Lizzie was carrying, it turned out that it wasn't even his in the first place. After causing such a mess for him by saying that the baby was his and getting his young wife involved in the whole mess, she ended up having Lizzie pay a settlement to them and ask that she never come around them ever again. After Lizzie had paid the settlement, she left for her parents' home with her now very large and noticeable belly. But because her parents weren't all too fond of her, they told her she could stay near them in town, but not in the same home as them. All so that they could make sure the baby had a healthy birth and would later be taken care of by them while pushing Lizzie back out on the street. And when it comes to Kevin, his young wife was pissed at him for what had happened, and soon the news of him sleeping with another woman while married to the daughter of a customer's daughter began to spread within the office. And because of that, his whole company lost faith in him, and he began to receive cold looks from everybody. As of now, with the loss of all of his customers and the company he works for on the brink of bankruptcy due to missing all of their monthly quotas, and as for myself, I have been able to get some mental peace and quiet again after having blocked Lizzie and all of her spam calls. And that boyfriend I told you about earlier, well, he recently proposed to me while we were going on a walk in the park. I already said yes to him, but I just hope that this marriage isn't heard of by Lizzie, because we know how she is when it comes to married men. But now that she's living in a completely different world of having a baby and having to pay off her debt, I'm hoping she doesn't have enough time to do anything stupid like this ever again.
Travis, we need to have a talk. When are you going to start looking for work?
Huh?
I mean, sure, I'm working too, but it's only part-time at a factory, and I'm not sure how much longer I feel like keeping it. I'm your wife, and I'm relying on you to be the breadwinner for our family. You need to be able to support me, so you need to start looking for a real job that generates real income as soon as possible.
What do you mean, look for a real job? I already have a real job, Erica. What's the matter with the one I currently have?
Are you joking? People with real jobs go to work, you know, the old 9 to 5. You haven't gone to work for a single day in over 2 months. How is that a real job?
Hold on, didn't we already have this discussion? I'm doing remote work, Erica. I work from home.
What? So wait, like, you mean you don't need to go to an office or anything? They just let you stay at home and work?
Yeah, that's right.
But that doesn't make any sense. What about your friend Kevin? He works at the same company, and he actually goes to the office every day.
Well, yeah, not everyone is on the same type of assignment as me. Some people can work from home, and some people can't. It depends on the person and their job. In my department, over 90% of our work is done on a computer, so we're the first people who the company allowed to work from home when the remote program started. They're gradually rolling it out to other departments too. I think Kevin said he should be able to work from home within a few months or so.
So like, you started working from home or whatever, and then 2 months later you got fired?
Fired? What are you talking about?
Like, if your work is so pointless that you don't even have to go to the office. I heard that people who go to remote work pretty soon get fired and replaced by AI or something.
Erica, I legitimately have no idea what you're talking about. Where are you hearing all of this from?
I heard it from a friend of mine. You don't know them?
Okay, well, I don't know where this friend of yours got his or her information, but that's the sort of nonsensical rumors old people spread on social media.
Hey, don't you dare badmouth my friend like that. They're really smart, and they're not old.
I didn't mean it as an insult. I'm just saying. All I'm trying to say is that it's completely untrue that people on remote working assignments get fired and replaced by AI.
Whatever. Anyway, like I was saying, hurry up and get yourself a real job. Got it?
I already told you, Erica. I do have a real job. By the way, where are you right now, Erica? It's already dark outside. Shouldn't you be back home by now?
Don't dodge the issue. This conversation is about your work ethic.
And I've already told you. I have plenty of work ethic as things stand.
You're going to start looking for a realer job tomorrow morning, and that's final. If you don't find something that lets you properly support me by the end of this month, I'm divorcing you.
Divorce? Are you seriously threatening to divorce me? Yo, Travis, you doing alright? Why's that? You had your camera on during the web meeting just now, and you looked kinda, I don't know, down about something? Is everything okay? I guess I didn't do a good enough job of hiding it. Sorry about that. I hope I wasn't too distracting during the meeting. Do you think anyone else noticed? Nah, I doubt it. No one else in the company knows you as well as I do. So, yeah, tell me, man. What's going on? Well, it's Erica. We were talking yesterday, and somehow she's managed to get the completely wrong idea about what remote working is. That's odd. It's pretty straightforward to me. What did she say? According to her, a friend of hers, who I apparently don't know, told her that people who get put on remote work get fired and replaced by AI. So she thinks that I'm lying about working and already got fired. She also told me that I have to start looking for a realer job starting today, or else. What? Right? And by the way, the what else I mentioned is that if I don't get said realer job within a month, she's gonna divorce me. I'm completely at a loss for what to do. Nothing I say gets through to her. Wow. Man, I'm sorry. That's a really tough situation. Tell me about it. I had no idea that was going on. It makes sense why you seem so down now. Well, if that's what's going on, I guess there's something I should probably tell you. I honestly have no idea whether it's related to what she's saying, and I debated whether or not I should tell you for a while now. What is it? When you came by my new apartment a while back to help me move in, do you remember the apartment building that was right across the road from me? Yeah, I think so. The one that looked kinda old and had 2 broken windows on the first floor? Yeah, that's the one. I've been seeing her go in and out of the corner room on the 2nd floor of that building pretty often. What? At first, I just figured she was visiting a friend of hers or something. But, and this is the part that really pains me to tell you, but recently, I found out the occupant of that room was actually a guy. A guy, huh? What's he look like? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before, but I can't quite put my finger on it. He seemed pretty young. Your wife doesn't happen to have any young male siblings or relatives, does she? Nope. Erica's an only child, and she doesn't have any family in the city. I see. I'm sorry, Travis. Listen, Kevin, I know this doesn't have anything to do with you, but do you think you could keep an eye on that apartment for me for a while? Sure thing, man. What should I be looking for? A record of what time she goes in and out of the apartment would be great, and if possible, some pictures for evidence. You don't have to monitor it 24/7. Just whenever you happen to see her is fine. Got it. Leave it to me. I'm starting to work from home in the next few weeks, so I'll be at home a lot more anyway, so I should be able to keep my eye on the apartment most of the day. I'm really sorry to drag you into all this, Kevin. Hey, I'm your friend, aren't I? I'm glad to help however I can. I'll find some way to thank you for this. It really means a lot to me.
Well, 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 Travis. Here we are, the first day of a new month, so let's check up on your progress since I gave you my ultimatum, shall we? You haven't spent any time looking for a real job over the last month, have you?
Yeah, well, I've been too busy actually doing the real job I have right now to look for another real job. Are you telling me you want me to get a second job or something? I'm already pretty busy as things are.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. All I want is what any rational wife wants. A husband who is actually willing to do the work required to support her.
Okay, since I'm supporting you plenty well right now, I guess that means I don't need to find a new real job then.
You're not fooling anyone, Travis. I know you got fired.
How many times do I have to tell you this? No, I didn't get fired, and no, I'm not about to get fired and replaced by AI. How do you not understand this? You're under 45 years old. Everyone in our generation knows about remote work.
How many times do I have to tell you this? I don't believe you. My friend told me all about how remote work really works. You're gonna get fired within a few months if you haven't been already. My God, how stupid do you think I am?
Alright, then how about you go ahead and give my company a call? If you ask for my department, that should put you through to the secretary who knows I'm still working there.
You're just gonna call them ahead of time and tell them to lie to me?
This has got to be a joke.
I got you all figured out, Travis. Your little plan isn't going to work. I'm not gonna become the breadwinner for you, so you can stay home and play video games and Kevin all day.
Kevin doesn't even play video games. And seriously, I have no idea what you're talking about. Either regarding remote work or my supposed plan to make you become the breadwinner? Seriously, Erica, can you please calm down and have an in-person conversation with me about this?
Calm down? How am I supposed to calm down when you're trying to mooch off of me for the rest of your life? Ugh, That's it. I'm done having this conversation with you. I wanted you, Travis. Either you get a real job or I'm divorcing you. So guess what? I'm divorcing you. I already signed my name on the divorce agreement and left it in the mailbox. Hurry up and take it to the courthouse.
I don't believe this. Alright, fine. If that's what you want, I'll take the divorce agreement to the courthouse this afternoon.
Goodbye, you freeloading slacker.
Yo, Travis. Your wife just went into that guy's apartment. Although, it looks like he isn't home right now. She was carrying a couple of bags with her. Did something happen over there? Yeah, she just left the divorce agreement in the mailbox and told me to turn it in. For real? Yep, I suppose it was only a matter of time. I looked into the guy who owns that apartment, so I'm fully prepared on that front. Ha! You work fast. Hey, it's all thanks to you. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have you helping me out. I talked to my superior about what's going on, and he's letting me take the afternoon off, so it looks like the show is about to start. Awesome. Give him hell, man. Oh, trust me. I'm gonna give him hell, and then some. Neil Hartford, 23 years old, room 201, New Rise apartment building, just down the street from the central subway station.
What?
It just so happens that he was hired by my company a few months ago.
What are you talking about?
I'm not interested in beating around the bush here, so I'll get straight to the point.
What point? You're not making any sense.
I know everything about the man you've been having an affair with.
What?
Did you really think that I was unaware?
Wait, so you really know?
Oh my god, Erica. Did I not just send you his name, age, and address? Yes, I really know.
Oh, so, do you know where I am right now?
Yes, you're in Neil's apartment.
No, you're wrong.
Sorry, Erica. I have eyewitness information and photographic evidence of you going into his apartment over the last month.
Have you been spying on me?
Like I said, let's not beat around the bush and get straight to the point, shall we? You quit your part-time job a few months ago so you'd have more time to spend with Neil, didn't you?
No.
So all the while you were berating me about not having a real job and to start looking for work immediately. You didn't even have any job at all, did you?
Even if that were true, you're the ones who's getting fired. That's way worse than quitting.
Are you really still going on about that?
Yeah, Neil told me so himself. I know everything, Travis.
Oh, he did he? What else did he say?
He told me you were a totally worthless employee, that you didn't even go to college, and that he was already outperforming you even though he'd only been in the company for a few months. And that's why you got put on remote work, then fired. Like I said, Travis, I know everything. You're a dirty liar.
Ah, so that's what happened. Neil was the one who fed you that BS about remote work.
What do you mean, BS?
You ought to know that in reality, Neil's the one who's actually quite likely to get fired in short order.
What? Okay, now you're just being childish. You're just jealous that Neil's way better worker than you and is still important enough to be going to the office every day. Grow up, Travis.
Well, Neil works in the company's factory on the production line, so it'd be pretty hard for him to get put on remote work, anyway.
Wait, what? Factory?
You might be in a little different industry than our company, but you still have experience in factory. Surely you could understand that it's virtually impossible for a factory worker to be put on remote work, right?
Wait, hold on a second. What are you saying?
It would be a waste of time to bother explaining it in more detail, so I'm just going to keep this conversation moving along, okay? I have no idea why, but Neil has always hated me, right from the moment he first started working at my company. I once asked someone who worked with him, and according to that person, he says it was because I told him not to smoke outside of the designated smoke areas one too many times, which is odd because it's a clear fire hazard to be smoking inside the plant. But, in any case, in the midst of him hating me, one day he ended up meeting you at a singles party.
Oh no!
And it wasn't long before he learned that you were a married woman, and my wife. Ordinarily, most people would swiftly put an end to a relationship with a married woman, But apparently, Neil instead thought it would be the perfect opportunity to get some sort of revenge on me for asking him not to set the building on fire.
That can't be true.
So he not only kept up his relationship with you, but also fed you all that nonsense about remote work, AI, and whatever.
But if that's true, then Neil was just using me to get at you?
Yep.
No, I don't believe this. How could he? Neil never seemed like he was that kind of guy.
Well, at the very least, you knew he was that kind of guy who would mess around with a married woman, so...
Stop mocking me. I've never been hurt this much in my life. Do you have any idea how it feels to be stabbed in the back by someone you thought you loved? That settles it. I'm gonna break up with Neil right now. I'll be home in a few minutes. Could you heat up some dinner for me?
I already submitted the divorce papers.
You what? It's whatever. I'll just pick up an application for a marriage license on my way home then. Or do you want to meet me at the courthouse?
Did you actually think I would remarry you after all that?
Well, duh. I'm the victim here. Neil lied to me.
Aren't you skipping a step there? What were you? A married woman doing at a singles party?
Well, one of my friends was going and she said that one of the other girls canceled, so I figured I'd tag along.
Okay, and then what happened? You left the party with a guy, slept with him, and kept sleeping with him for months. That's not the sort of thing you can just wave it away as oopsie doopsie.
But Travis, let's meet face to face to talk about this, okay? Like I said, I'm breaking up with Neil and I'll be home soon.
If you'd like to contact me further, please do so through my lawyer.
Why do you have a lawyer?
Because I'm gonna sue the pants off of you and Neil for your affair.
You're gonna sue me?
So, yeah, like I said, if you want to talk to me, talk to my lawyer. He'll be giving you some documents within the next few days, so be ready for that.
Don't do this, Travis. I'm gonna break it off with Neil.
By break it off, you mean your extramarital affair, right? The one that lasted for several months while you berated me about getting a realer job?
Come on, Travis, let's get remarried. Travis, pick up the phone.
Erica rushed as fast as she could to my apartment after that, but I had already headed over to Kevin's place by the time that she got here. So instead of having a heart-to-heart talk with her furious ex-husband, she got to have a heart-to-heart talk with her furious parents. I told them everything Erica did, as well as my plan to punish her, and they were waiting for her when she got there. They did me the favor of keeping her there until my lawyer could come and talk to her. I also made the same sort of arrangement with Neil's parents. As promised, I sued the pants off the both of them. I negotiated for a lump sum payment, which they both have already paid in full, with the help of their parents. I heard the other day that Neil got fired from his job shortly after that. It would seem that I was not the only person who he had a ridiculous one-way grudge against. When I think about Neil's actions, I suppose you could say that Erica was in some sort of ways a victim in all this, but her behavior overall was just way too awful to overlook. The last I heard, she was working 3 jobs a day to pay her parents back for the money they lent her during the lawsuit. Hey Mika, you got those divorce papers my lawyer sent, right? Make sure you get them to the courthouse as soon as possible. Got it?
Yeah, I got it, Jaden. Do you want me to shoot you a text when I turn them in, or what?
Come on, Mika. How badly do you want to stay in contact with me? We're through. We're never getting back together.
Good grief, would you get over yourself? I was just wondering if you wanted me to let you know when we were officially divorced or not.
Listen up, Mika. I'm just about to leave on a relaxing, romantic, luxurious spa vacation with my beloved Samantha. A message from you ruining the mood of our celebratory vacation is the last thing I want. Do I make myself clear?
Okay, I'll take that as a no, loud and clear.
I'm glad you're finally starting to understand me. And just so we're perfectly clear, let me say it one more time. We are through. So don't bother trying to get back together with me. Now that I'm rid of you, I'll finally be free to enjoy life with Samantha. I no longer have any room for you in my life at all. None. Zilch. Nada. Got it?
You're such a narcissistic clown. Do you honestly think that after all you've put me through, I'd actually be interested in getting back together with you?
Looks like I hit a little too close to home.
Ugh, whatever. This is how we say goodbye then, I guess.
Yep, goodbye and good riddance.
Hey, Mika, are you there? Where are you right now? I tried ringing your doorbell, but no one came to the door and the house looked all dark. Where on earth are you? Please, the moment you see this message, you've got to get in touch with me. Rachel? We haven't talked in ages. What's going on? There you are, finally! You seem pretty serious. Did something happen, or are you okay? I'm fine. This isn't about me. Hasn't my mom messaged you? I thought she would have told you about what was going on. In any case, you've got to get down to the hospital as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel. The truth is that I blocked your mom a while ago. You what? Why would you do that? I guess that's besides the point now. So, you haven't heard about my brother? Well, no, I haven't spoken to Jaden since 2 days ago. He was in a car crash, and he's in the hospital right now. A car crash? You need to get down to the Central City Hospital as soon as possible. There's a lot we'll need to talk about moving into the future, so I thought it would be best for the whole family to gather together in person. Hold on, Rachel, calm down for a second. How can you be calm when your husband is in the hospital? My husband? Wait a second. Rachel, didn't you hear about what happened between us? No, what? Jaden and I are divorced, Rachel. What? You are? Yeah, it was finalized 2 days ago. This is the first I've ever heard of this. Oh my goodness. I see. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I guess that would explain why you haven't been contacting Jaden and haven't come down to the hospital yet. I guess. Wow, this day just keeps getting crazier. I'm sorry, Mika. I must have surprised you when I started texting you in a panic all of a sudden like that. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You just didn't know. I know this is probably a sensitive issue, and I don't mean to pry, but was the divorce over my brother's infidelity? How did you know? Well, I had my suspicions when the doctors mentioned that there was another passenger in the car Jaden was driving, and it was a female who I had never met before. Apparently the accident happened while they were on their way back from their spa vacation. Ah, I see. The doctor said her name was Samantha. Does that ring any bells? Well, I suppose there's no point in hiding it anymore. Yes, Samantha is the woman whom Jaden was cheating on me with. I see. I am terribly sorry for the way my brother treated you. I already told you, Rachel, you don't have anything to apologize for. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, well, I guess that does explain a lot of things then. Gotcha. I don't know much of the details of the accident at this point, so I'll message you again sometime later after we talk to the police. For now, I can tell you that the doctors say that his injuries aren't life-threatening. I don't know exactly how things are going to go from here on out, but there might be some times when I need to get a hold of you. Is that okay? Sure thing, Rachel. Just let me know whenever you need anything. Now, how about you, Rachel? How are you dealing with all of this? Are you okay? Me? Yes, you. I know that neither Jaden nor your mother have treated you very well over the years, and that's just from the things I've heard and seen from Jaden. I can't imagine what they were like when I wasn't around. Well, I suppose that's to be expected. I'm only her stepdaughter, and ever since my dad died, she started treating me differently than before. I'm not sure what the extent of Jaden's injuries are, but do you think they might try to force all the work of taking care of Jaden and his mistress onto you? I'm just asking out of concern for you, Rachel. I don't know. Your brother and I are divorced now, so it may not be my place to say this, but remember, there's absolutely no need for you to bear the burden all by yourself, Rachel. You take care of yourself, you hear me? Thanks, Mika. I'll do that.
Mika, what's your problem? When are you finally going to step up and take responsibility for taking care of me? You know I'm wheelchair bound now. Don't pretend you don't. Even my poor, sweet Samantha has to live with a wheelchair. She's an angel. She didn't deserve this. We're living in a wheelchair-accessible apartment right now, but even with all those accommodations, it's still a nightmare over here. Hurry up and get your butt over here and help out around the house.
Jaden, you are the last person I wanted to hear from today. We've been divorced for a few months now. What do you want from me?
Don't act dumb. I want you to take responsibility. You need to come over to our apartment every day and help us out.
Why?
You know why. We're stuck in wheelchairs for the rest of our lives. And just what have you been up to lately while shirking off your responsibilities to me, huh? Have you been having fun? Walking around? Going places?
No, I mean, why am I the one who has to take care of you? We're divorced.
Excuse me? You're my wife. Obviously, you have to take care of me.
Do I need to teach you what the word divorced means?
At our wedding, you vowed to take care of me. Till death do us part.
Did you get a brain injury in that crash?
In sickness and in health, Mika. And right now, I'm cashing in on the in sickness part. You're gonna fulfill your duties to me as my wife, or else.
We are divorced. I am not your wife.
What?
What do you mean, what? You told me to fire the papers, quote, as soon as possible. And just like you told me, I went down to the courthouse the very same day and filed them. We're divorced.
You never told me that.
You also told me that I didn't need to tell you when I submitted them.
I did?
I asked you if you wanted me to message you when I submitted the divorce papers. You said no and further stated, again, directly quoting you here, a message from you ruining the mood of our celebratory vacation is the last thing I want. So, like you told me, I didn't tell you. Got it?
Wait, but you were only asking me that because you wanted an excuse to keep talking to me, weren't you?
No, I assumed that you had plans to marry your mistress as soon as we were divorced, and so I thought you might like to know at what point that would be legally possible. That's all.
But you never messaged me, so I figured, I don't know, maybe you were still in love with me and hadn't submitted them yet.
My God in heaven, you told me not to message you! Seriously, how bad was the brain damage you suffered in that accident?
I didn't suffer any brain damage. I'm just as smart as I've always been. Listen, Samantha and I are having a really hard time of things getting adjusted to life in a wheelchair. My mom helps us out when she can, but she's had a bad back, so she can't do everything all the time. We need someone to take care of all three of us.
Then hire someone. Did you really think you would be able to talk your ex-wife into moving back in with you to be your live-in maid? If you hadn't gotten a CAT scan yet, get one soon.
Okay, well, then I can just make you my legal wife again.
Huh?
We've been pretty busy over here the last few months between being in the hospital, going through rehabilitation, and then getting adjusted to our new lifestyles, so we haven't had the time to get legally married. So it just so happens that I'm a perfectly eligible bachelor. We can get married again. You can be my wife and help out me, Samantha, and my mom around the house. Isn't that a great plan?
I am more and more convinced that they lobotomized you while you were in the hospital. Do you even have any brains left in your skull?
What's up with that attitude? I'm offering you the chance to get back together with me. Are you really going to throw it in my face like this?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, of course I am, you complete moron.
But why?
Don't insult my intelligence, Jaden. Rachel finally got tired of taking care of you and moved out, didn't she? And the only reason you're contacting me right now is because you want me to take over for her.
Wait, how do you know that Rachel moved out?
Because she told me she did. She told me that she's only your stepsister and that her father married your mother and that he had passed away a few years ago. And ever since then, it was just you, your mom, and Rachel living together in your house. She also told me that she started treating her like trash as time went on. I guess the two of you thought that since Rachel wasn't a blood relative, that you could force her to do all the cooking and cleaning while you just laze around the house.
Yeah? And so what if we did? She's supposed to take care of her family.
Rachel learned something very important recently. When your mother married her father, she never legally adopted her as her daughter.
Once again, so what? She's still my stepsister and my mom's stepdaughter.
Stepchildren aren't like biological children, especially when they're adults like Rachel. When you marry someone with children, they don't automatically become your legal children. There is a process to legally adopt the children of your spouse, but again, your mother never did it. So there is no bond, legal or biological, binding Rachel to you and your mom.
Uh-oh.
Looks like you're starting to see where I'm going with this. I guess the doctors must have left a few pieces of your brain behind after all.
So, you're saying...
Don't hurt yourself by thinking too hard. I'll spell it out for you. The moment Rachel's father died, the only reason she had to stick around you two went away. So no, Rachel has no responsibility to take care of you or your mother. I'm very sorry to say this, but you won't be able to rely on either the sister you mistreated nor the wife you cheated on to take care of you. Tough luck. And to be really honest, expecting me or her to care for you is an unprecedented low, even for you.
Hey, you're probably aware of this, but Samantha kinda got cut off by her parents, so she doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Oh no, she got cut off by her parents after they found out she got in an accident riding with the married man she was sleeping with. This might be a little harsh, but right now, the two of you are getting exactly what you deserve.
Please, Mika, you've got to come back to me. We really need some help around here.
Then go and hire someone to do it for you.
We can't hire somebody to help us without any money. Both Samantha and I had to quit our jobs after the accident, so we've got almost no income.
Not my problem.
How can you be so cold to me after all we've been through together?
Ah, yes, we have most certainly been through a lot together, haven't we? I remember it all so clearly, from our first date to your proposal, to our wedding and honeymoon, and then finally the day I found out you were sleeping with another woman. And if this had happened before that last one, I probably would have stuck with you, for better or for worse. But I would sooner die than spend the remaining years of my life nursing the cheating scoundrel who betrayed me.
All right, fine, whatever. You won't help us. Then can you at least tell me where Rachel went so I can contact her? You said you had been talking to her, right? Just her phone number would be okay. Please? She's my last hope.
Not a chance.
Why not?
Think about it. Rachel is, for the first time in years, finally free of the curse you and your mother had brought upon her. She is taking her first steps as a free woman. And as she's enjoying her newfound freedom, do you think she'd appreciate being bombarded from texts begging for help from the stepbrother who directly contributed to her years of torment? So no, I would never tell you Rachel's location or phone number, not even if you were lying on your deathbed.
Then who's going to take care of us? If you won't, and Rachel won't, then who?
Don't know, don't care.
Come on!
Goodbye. Forever. Jaden didn't know when to give up, so I blocked his number after that. And just to be safe, I went out and got a new phone number the next day. Since I also moved apartments since then, I think it's safe to say I don't need to worry about the three of them bothering me anymore. I'll also still keep in touch with Rachel. She gets updates on what Jaden is up to through a friend of hers. Apparently, after getting married to Samantha, an acquaintance of theirs was decent enough to hire them on as disabled hires in the same company they used to work at. So it seems that they should be able to make ends meet, if only barely. However, their personalities always were, well, atrocious. And once word got around about the circumstances behind them ending up in a wheelchair, everyone's opinions of them managed to get even worse than they already were. Despite the cold treatment by their old colleagues, they need their jobs so desperately that they can't quit. So they have no choice but to bear with the constant jeers and scorn they face every single day they show up at the office.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Maya, when are you finally going to get a divorce from Dad? I'm really getting sick and tired of you always being at the house doing nothing but chores all the time, so let's go. Huh? Sarah, what do you mean by that? I'm asking you to divorce him because I don't want you here in this house anymore.
It's clear you have a strong dislike for me, but if you had objections, you should have expressed them before the marriage. Why bring it up now? I've been together with your dad for years now, so it's really not the best time to be asking something like that now.
The only reason I never complained about you back then was because ever since my real mom left, I've been the one responsible for all the household chores. The situation wasn't ideal, but it was manageable. When Dad told me he wanted to marry someone and brought you home, I thought to myself, finally, I might be free from these endless chores. I was thrilled at the prospect of having some relief and even approved of your marriage to him. But once we actually began living together, the reality was far different from my expectations. I was freed from doing housework, but having to live with someone who I felt was an annoying old woman was more distressing.
Annoying old woman, huh?
And let's not forget, just 6 months after the wedding, Dad had that accident, ended up hospitalized, didn't he? Being stuck living alone with a strange aunt has been excruciating. It feels like a punishment, if I'm being honest.
A strange aunt?
It feels so good to finally voice my true feelings. I have had those pent up for so long now that I had no clue what I was going to do if I didn't get them off my chest.
I'm happy to hear that you're feeling better now, but if I leave, won't you have to handle the housework again?
From now on, I plan to arrange for professional cleaning services, and I'll invest in time-saving kitchen gadgets and cleaning equipment. This way I can minimize my own work and ensure everything runs smoothly. Of course, I'll also be asking that my dad doesn't make as much of a mess when he's back home.
Sarah, are you thinking about the expenses involved? Not only will all those fancy gadgets you're talking about cost a lot, but getting a cleaning service or even a maid to come over and clean, that's way too much money.
I know that, and of course I've been thinking about the cost. Dad's income seems to have increased since marrying you, so with that extra money, we can take care of all the required needs.
Huh?
Since you married Dad, his standard of living has improved, hasn't it? This means his salary must have risen, making it easier for him to support a full-time housewife like you. If you were to leave, there would be a reduction in household expenses, which would provide me with a chance to enjoy a more comfortable lifestyle with the saved money.
Excuse me, can we talk about something?
What else do you want to talk about?
I'm not a full-time housewife.
Huh? But you're always at home. Didn't you quit your job when you married Dad and told me that you'd be home a lot more often than before?
Yes, I did leave my corporate job, but...
See? You're not working.
Earning money isn't just about having a job at a company.
Huh?
Currently, I work remotely, which means that I'm pretty much able to work from home all the time.
Huh? Isn't that just doing a bit of work on the side while you handle household chores? Isn't that called piecework?
It might seem that way, but I also have passive income streams.
What's that? Even if you use fancy terminology, it still looks like piecework to me. Like you've got some kind of a small side gig or something.
Sarah, you're about to graduate from high school and have plans to go to junior college. You should start acquiring the knowledge that will be useful when you enter the workforce.
Huh? I don't understand what you're talking about. Anyway, I need my allowance.
I just gave it to you last week.
It's not enough.
No, it's not happening. If you want that money, then maybe start doing some chores as well, and I'll pay you for your hard work.
You are so stingy. My last mom was never like this.
Sarah, sorry for interrupting you, but there's something I'd like to ask you about.
What's that?
Do you know what happened to my wristwatch?
What?
It's the silver one that I've always got on when I'm going out.
I don't know where it is. Actually, I never care about what kinds of things you have on anyway, so I don't know.
I see. Well, it's the one I got from your dad. He gave it to me instead of an engagement ring to show that I promised him my love.
What? So you never got an engagement ring?
He told me that a wristwatch is something one can get a lot more use out of, so that's what we went with.
Oh.
I just wanted to ask you about this in case you had any memory of what happened to it.
Well, I still don't know.
I see. All right, then.
Hey, Mia? You returned to your family home after my high school graduation ceremony yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. I'm currently staying at my family home.
As I mentioned before, I came back because there is something important to announce. Dad's discharge date from the hospital's been set.
I'm aware of that. I received a notification about it too.
So, regarding what we discussed the other day, could you please act on it soon?
What exactly are you referring to?
I mean, how long do you plan on staying at Dad's house? It's time for you to stop leeching off of him.
Who is leeching off of whom?
It's obviously you.
I'm not leeching. I have been working and contributing my share to the household expenses.
Well, I anticipated you might say that, so I've taken the liberty of throwing out all your belongings.
What?
I thought that might be the only way to get you to leave. Get out now. You need to divorce Dad immediately.
Oh, is that how you want to handle it? If that's the case, then you'll need to manage your dad's hospitalization costs yourself.
What are you talking about? You're acting like you're the one covering Dad's medical expenses.
Since you seem to be so concerned, why don't you take care of your dad's discharge arrangements? It might be best if you hear directly from him about his current situation and what needs to be done.
Huh? Maya!
What's going on?
Is it true that you and Dad have officially divorced? And did you really move into a high-rise apartment worth $10,000 a month? Is it also true that you covered all of Dad's hospital bills by yourself? And is it true that Dad has resigned from his job and is now unemployed?
It's quite unbelievable, but yes, everything you've heard is true.
Seriously?
To clarify everything, it might be helpful to organize your questions in chronological order.
Chronological order?
Let's start with your dad's accident. Since it was a self-inflicted accident, insurance coverage was not an option.
So you ended up covering the entire expense yourself?
Yes, that's correct. The accident involved a company car that had to be written off, so he was given the choice of either resigning or paying for the car. He opted to resign.
So it's essentially like being fired?
Yes, it's almost the same. Although your dad did receive some severance pay, it was significantly less than what he would have received if it had been a company-initiated dismissal.
I see.
Initially, my own income was sufficient to manage both the living expenses and hospital bills. Given the expletive nature of the company, I considered it a sort of unexpected blessing. But then the real issues began.
Issues?
Yes, the major problem with your dad's accident was that it occurred while he was on way to meet his mistress.
An affair? Dad had an affair?
Yes, I found this out when I visited Yoshiro-san's hospital room at an unusual time and discovered him with his mistress.
What?
After revealing the affair, further investigation showed that it had been ongoing since before our marriage. It appears he was interested in my family's wealth.
Huh? So your family is actually wealthy?
Yes, that's correct. You can think of it that way. After discovering the affair, I had to quickly manage the divorce proceedings and compensation claims. Following that, I moved back to the high-rise apartment that I owned before marriage.
Oh, the $10,000 high-rise?
Yes, this apartment was inherited from my late father. It was valued at 100 million yen when it was first purchased, but its current value is likely diminished.
But the high-rise...
Let's not dwell on the high-rise details and focus on the core issues. Because of the divorce, I won't be charging you for the hospital expenses I covered during our marriage. However, any remaining unpaid amounts will need to be settled by you.
But I'm unemployed.
And don't forget about the compensation money.
Oh, right.
By the way, the mistress has already paid her share, but your dad still hasn't paid his portion. I have a feeling that Dad's expenses have accumulated to an enormous amount. I'm concerned that his severance pay might not cover everything. How he manages his finances is not my concern, so you should discuss this matter directly with your dad. And Sarah, you too.
What about me?
Regarding the matter of you taking and selling various items of mine without permission?
Huh? You knew?
Of course. With only you and me in the house, I immediately suspected you. To gather concrete evidence, I installed hidden cameras in my room.
Cameras?
Yes, I have detailed records of what you took from my room, and I've also tracked the app accounts you used to sell those items. That too? You mentioned discarding my belongings, but it turns out you sold what you could, didn't you? The total damage, based on what I know, amounts to just over 5,000. I will make sure to claim that amount. No way. And what about the private school tuition for you? Huh? I was the one who paid for the entrance fee and tuition as a gesture of goodwill. So you're the one who covered the entrance fee? But when it comes to college, I won't be handling any future tuition costs, so you'll need to figure that out on your own. Really? Dad doesn't seem reliable, so what should I do? Well then, I think we're done here. From now on, please handle everything through a lawyer. Goodbye. Sarah's decision to take a leave of absence from junior college was a critical juncture in her life. Opting to step away from her studies temporarily, she embarked on a new chapter marked by independence and self-sufficiency. She moved into her own apartment and began working part-time to support herself. At first glance, this shift seemed like a positive transformation. On the surface, it appeared as though Sarah was making significant strides towards personal growth and responsibility. This new chapter promised a fresh start, free from the constraints and conflicts that had previously defined her life. However, reality often complicates seemingly straightforward transitions. Despite her best efforts, Sarah struggled with maintaining stability in her new life. Her part-time jobs were short-lived, and she was either dismissed from her positions or chose to leave them voluntarily. This pattern of frequent job changes was concerning. It seemed that Sarah was unable to find a job that suited her long-term, or perhaps she was struggling to meet the expectations and demands of her employers. This instability suggested deeper issues, whether they were related to her approach to work, her adaptability in different workplace environments, or other personal challenges she was facing. Meanwhile, my ex-husband was grappling with his own set of difficulties. Despite the urgent need to find employment and resolve the financial obligations we had discussed, he showed no significant signs of actively seeking work. His inaction and reluctance to address those financial responsibilities were sources of ongoing frustration. The financial disputes and unpaid amounts that I had requested from both him and Sarah remained unresolved, adding to the complexity and strain of the situation. The situation took a dramatic turn when Sarah's relatives intervened. Their involvement marked a significant shift in the narrative. One day, a black-painted van appeared at both Sarah's and my ex-husband's residences. The sight of those vans, coupled with their authoritative presence, suggested that serious action was being taken. The intervention was both dramatic and necessary, signaling a crucial turning point in the ongoing issues. Inside those vans were individuals tasked with collecting and transporting Sarah and my ex-husband away from their homes. The process was marked by visible distress and emotional upheaval. The intervention by Sarah's relatives aimed to address the unresolved financial issues and bring some degree of resolution to the prolonged disputes. The appearance of the black vans and the subsequent actions taken were necessary steps towards resolving the complex and ongoing problems that had affected all parties involved. Following the intervention, there was a noticeable shift in the financial situation. From the following month, payments began to be made in installments. This development was a significant improvement and indicated that progress was being made in addressing the outstanding financial obligations. Although the payments were being made in small amounts, the fact that they were occurring at all was a positive sign that Sarah and my ex-husband were now facing some level of accountability for their financial responsibilities. This change marked a crucial step toward resolving the long-standing issues that had plagued our lives. Despite these positive changes, I chose to focus on my own life and well-being. The period of dealing with financial disputes and personal upheavals had been incredibly taxing and stressful. Now that the issues were being addressed and some level of resolution was being achieved, I felt it was time to fully embrace the freedom of my single life. This newfound independence allowed me to enjoy a sense of peace and relaxation that had been elusive during the tumultuous period of dealing with these disputes. As I looked forward, I decided to focus on what truly mattered to me. The freedom from the past disputes and the opportunity to start anew provided a sense of rejuvenation. I was ready to move on from the challenges of the previous months and to embrace a future that promised greater stability and satisfaction. The experiences I had gone through provided valuable insights into responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. Reflecting on Sarah's situation, it was clear she had faced significant challenges. Her struggles with employment and the ongoing financial issues with my ex-husband highlighted the complexities of navigating personal and financial difficulties. However, the involvement of her relatives and the subsequent actions to address the outstanding payments were steps in the right direction. These changes suggested that Sarah was being held accountable for her responsibilities, and the support from her relatives played a crucial role in resolving the issues. It was evident that Sarah's journey was still ongoing. Despite the intervention and the progress in settling financial obligations, the path to stability was not straightforward. Her ongoing challenges with employment and her personal circumstances indicated that she had much to navigate before achieving the stability she sought. The support from her relatives was a crucial factor in helping her address these challenges, but the journey ahead remained complex. For me, the resolution of these disputes allowed for a sense of closure. The financial obligations that had been a source of stress and frustration were gradually being addressed. The payments made by Sarah and my ex-husband, though initially delayed, indicated that they were now facing the consequences of their actions and working to rectify the situation. This development provided a measure of relief and marked a turning point in the resolution of the issues. The involvement of Sarah's relatives and the subsequent actions they took were instrumental in bringing about these changes. Their intervention was a necessary step in resolving the financial disputes, ensuring that accountability was restored. The black-painted vans and the dramatic nature of the intervention highlighted the seriousness and the need for decisive action. As I moved forward, I was determined to embrace the freedom and independence that came with being single. The experiences of the past had shaped my approach to life and provided valuable lessons. I looked forward to a future where I could focus on my own goals and aspirations, free from the burdens of past disputes. The resolution of the financial issues allowed me to fully appreciate the sense of closure and to look ahead with renewed hope and optimism. The entire experience had been a journey of growth and self-discovery. It had taught me the importance of responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. While the resolution of the disputes provided a sense of closure, it also marked the beginning of a new chapter. I was ready to step into this new chapter with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to embracing the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead. In conclusion, Sarah's journey and the resolution of the financial disputes were significant milestones in the narrative of our lives. The intervention by her relatives and the subsequent progress in settling financial obligations marked important steps towards addressing the issues that had affected us. The experiences of the past provided valuable lessons and insights, shaping my approach to life and reinforcing the importance of responsibility and accountability. As I looked toward the future, I was ready to embrace the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.